Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. And yes, it is our podcast because I am here to share with you information regarding solar energy. I am your host, Robin Fahmy. I live here in the DeSoto, Cedar Hill, Lancaster area, the Dallas area overall, and I service communities really throughout Texas uh, where solar is concerned. I have customers all over the Metroplex. Um, want you to come in today and hopefully find a space that you can sit and listen to me. And the reason I want you to listen is because I'm really going to tell you some things that you don't know about solar energy, how it works, what it is, if it's right for you. But more than anything, I'm sure that you agree with me. It is hot. The Texas heat has arrived. It is hot, hot, hot. And electric bills are high. Some people are complaining about these high electric bills. You know, 200, 300. I've even had some customers with $900 a month electric bills. And what can you do about that? Well, solar is an answer. It is a solution. Um, that's the problem. The problem is electric bills are high. The solution is how can we fix your energy cost and make it beneficial for you to switch from fossil fuel to renewable energy or fossil energy to renewable energy to that sun energy. All righty. So now, again, I am Robin Fafming. Tell everybody you know we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we're here to help you understand that when you switch to solar energy, it will work for you if you work it. My job is to help you understand how to work it so that it makes sense for you to make the decision to switch to solar. I am a solar dealer. I have my own solar energy business. I partner with an installer, and I also partner with a roofer. So when you decide to go solar, you call me, we come out, we sit at your kitchen table or wherever in your home you want to sit, and we discuss your energy needs. We discuss your most recent energy bills. We look at those bills, see what the cost is. Usually, what will happen is we will add up 12 months of usage. Then we divide that by 12, and that will tell us what your average monthly bill is. Now, whatever that average monthly bill is, doesn't mean that you're going to pay that every month. It just means that, when we do the calculation, add 12 months of usage together, divide by 12, we come out with a number that is your average usage. Like for me, I am a product of the product. I do have solar on my home. I have had solar on my roof for 3 years. In 3 years, I have only paid four electric bills. Okay, only four. In 3 years, I basically have had zero bills because my panels produce enough energy to cover my energy usage as well as the initial, not initial, but the additional items that are on your bill. Your bill is broken down into a couple of parts. The first part is energy. How much energy are you using? How much are you paying per kilowatt for that usage will tell you how much your bill will be for energy alone. Now, When you get your bill at the end of the month, it will also have taxes added into it. It will have delivery charges from your electrical provider or from your energy provider. In our area, Encore is the big one. If you live in an area where you have a co op, there are several co ops in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex area. So if you live in an area where there's a co op, they will have specific charges, but you've got your base charge, you've got your delivery charge, you may have a co-op charge, and of course you have taxes. Then you take whatever that is and you add it to your energy costs, and that gives you your total bill. So a lot of people think that when you go solar, that you are eliminating your electric bill completely, and that can be true. That is the goal. We are eliminating the energy portion of the bill. And if you have the right setup, if you have the right um, design, solar panel design that is producing enough energy so that when you sell your excess back to the grid, then you will have enough in credits to cover your energy use and your other uses, taxes, base charges, delivery charges, and things like that. So it works if you work it. That's what I mean by when you switch to solar, it will work if you work it, but you've got to understand it. Now, listen, solar should not be complicated. It is, though, but it should not be complicated because if you understand the dynamics, then you understand how to make it work for you. It should not be complicated. However, there are lots of moving parts when it comes to solar. So that's why I am here, is to share information with you so that you have a better understanding of solar energy. And when you make the decision, you know the right questions to ask. In my case, I am a product of the product. As I said, I do have solar on my home, and it has been wonderful for us. But listen, it's hot. We've already said that. It is hot. The Texas heat is on. And solar companies know that you're in a position now where you are kind of not happy about having these high electric bills. So there are people in the neighborhoods, knocking on doors, talking to you about solar. You're interested, you're getting information, perhaps not everything you need to know because you really don't know what you don't know. So you don't know all of the right questions or appropriate questions to ask. But you're some people are really dead set on having solar, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. They just want solar, so they do that. They go ahead, bite the bullet, and get solar. But some people are responding to the people who are knocking on your doors, who may or may not have the information that you need in order to make the right decision. You may talk to them for an hour or 2 hours today, and your mind is not made up, so you don't pull the string and go for it. But what they're going to do is they are going to come back. All I am asking is that if you really are interested, give me a call and let me help you understand the moving parts. So they're knocking on the doors. You may or may not be signing on the dotted line yet. However, if you do choose to go solar, you need to be sure that you have everything that is right for your home. How many of you think that you have solar on your home, your neighbor has solar on their home, two houses down the street may have solar? Are they all alike? Are all of the systems alike? Are all of the systems being billed the same from the electric company? The answer is no. And the reason is solar, when you make that decision, it is up to people like me to make sure that we size the system properly for your particular home. No two houses are just alike. Why? Because the families that live in those houses are different. You may have one home that has four adults in it. You may have another home that has two adults and five children. You may have another home with one adult who works from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. So now what happens to all of that energy that he is producing in the daytime? What happens to it? He's not there to use it. So some households are active all day long. Some households are active after 8 or 9 p.m. Some households may have situations where during the day you do all of your major things, that you can control, like those things that are going to use a lot of energy, like your washing and major cooking and things like that. You want to do those during the daylight hours when you are actually producing energy. But some people will come home at night and you've got four or five kids, you've got PlayStations going, you've got music going, you've got TVs going, you've got all kinds of things. You've got baths going. So you're using more energy at night than you ever would in the daytime. And that's what you have to understand. During the daylight hours, the sun, the sun is out. When the sun is out, you're pulling energy from the sun. Anything that you are using in your home during the daylight hours, you're producing that energy that you are using. When the sun goes down, though, you are just like everybody else. You are pulling energy from the grid. Now, how much energy are you pulling from the grid is going to determine whether or not you have enough credits at the end of the month to cover your energy usage and everything else. Again, why is it that I cannot compare my solar system on my home to my neighbors or anybody else? You may get into a conversation with somebody from out of town who has solar. Well, maybe out of town is out of the state of Texas. Sun is different in every state. Texas, I believe, is like the number two state that produces the amount of sun that we do. We are a very high sun producing state. So, what I'm producing here may not be the same or equivalent in any way to, to what someone in Rhode Island or New Jersey or New York is producing. And solar is becoming popular in those areas too, because people are understanding why they want solar. They have a goal for having solar on their home. The main goal is to reduce or eliminate your electric bill. And it's possible. It is possible. But also keep in mind, you cannot compare solar on your home to anybody else's home because your usage, how much energy are you using in your home compared to how much energy is your neighbor using? My job is to design a system that will match your energy production the amount of energy that you're using every day, the system needs to match that, at least match that. That if it does match, that's going to give you 100% offset, which means that your energy usage should be covered, may be covered. Everything is different and it's all relative. So, if you're using more or less, your system is custom designed to your usage needs, to your energy usage needs, and the next person's to their energy needs, which is different. That may mean that your system may only require 26 panels, whereas if you come to my home, I have 54 panels. Now, there are a lot of other little nuances that go into that because they're different brands of panels. And the different brands of panels have a certain wattage that they will produce. And that too gets into the design. And it will make a difference as to how many panels need to be on your roof. Also, keep in mind that once you've agreed to go solar, everything is in order. Now we're ready to design your system and put it on. Keep in mind that your south facing roof, the portion of your house that faces in the south or southern direction, that is the that's where you want the panels. That is the number one orientation, facing south. So if you've got lots of roof space that faces south, that's going to be really good. East and west are the next preferable areas. If you can keep panels off of the north, that is excellent, because, in most cases, you're not generating a lot from the north, but south facing first, east and west, second, third. And if you just have to have panels on the north side, okay, maybe there won't be as many. And when the people knock on your doors and they're talking to you about making this a part of your life, they will talk to you and tell you that south facing is the best direction. We'll go either or. But there are other things to consider. Is your roof really healthy enough for solar panels? Because sometimes when you've made the decision to go solar, maybe your roof is not in good condition or not good enough condition to add panels because the panels are heavy. So the roof needs to be in good condition, uh, all the way down to the decking, because the decking portion of the roof, that's where your real support is. So we have to take a look at that. Some people will have a roof that maybe is a 30-year roof, and it is already 18 years old. If that roof is already 18 years old and it's not been changed out, okay? Maybe it's not the original roof, but let's just say it's a 30-year roof and is 18 years old. That means that that roof has 12 years of life left in it. However, it may be the best option to go ahead and install a new roof on your home now prior to adding those panels, because now everything is in the absolute best condition that it can be in, and it makes it all sync together sync together better, because when you add solar to your home, you will get, from the company that I deal with, you will get a 25-year workmanship warranty. That means that the warranty for leaks and anything that could happen as a result of the penetration into your roof when we install the panels. So you're going to get a 25-year warranty on the workmanship, and you're also going to get a 25-year warranty on the panels. Now, the panels are they have inverters in them. And if you are using individual inverters, which means that every panel has its own inverters. I have 54 panels, I have 54 inverters. What that means, or the reason that's important, and I feel it's a really good thing, is because if for some reason one of my panels stopped working, just stopped producing, then it doesn't affect the others. If you're on a string inverter and one of them goes out, then the whole string goes out. So these are the little things that you want to understand before going solar. As I said, I have solar on my home, and after 3 years and now selling solar, I understand so much more. If I had known some of the things that I know now, I would have done things a little bit differently. I probably would have offset my energy usage up to at least 110%. Right now, I'm offset at 104%, and that works pretty good for me. And what I mean by that is my system produces enough energy to cover what I need during the daylight hours, and the energy that I send back to the grid, the overproduction, all of the energy that I'm not using goes back to the grid. When you install solar, Encore or whoever the main energy provider, they're going to come out and put a smart meter on your home. You may already have a smart meter. If you do already have a smart meter, they will come out and reconfigure that meter so that it runs backwards. It runs backwards. And when it's running backwards, that means that that energy is going to the grid. So they have a way to calculate all of that. And when that all works congruently, then you are really, really, really in a good position. So I've got some comments here. Oh, now they're talking about they love my background and my lighting is perfect. Okay, thank you for that. Information is great too. I need a stylist, so somebody needs to show up. But that was great. Thank you for listening, Gloria Johnson. So what I want to show you now is my my actual bill, just so that you understand that every situation is different. My situation with solar, my solar experience is not going to be the same as two other people out there. And you have to be careful who you're talking to about their solar experience, because sometimes people don't want to tell you that they're saving money. They don't want you to know that it's really working out for them. Or they will share a little bit, but not the whole kit and caboodle. I really want you to know it all. And I do understand that this conversation is going from A to Z all over the place. But believe me, in a few weeks, it will be to the point where you have a better understanding and you'll be able to follow me, because I am going to give you information in chunks, but chunks that are related. Right now, we're just like laying out all the puzzle pieces and putting them together. But I know that in order for you all to really grasp and understand how solar works, we're going to have to go A, B, C, D, and that's good. That's how I learned. And another way that I really learned was I just did a lot of research on my own because solar is becoming popular now to the point that more and more people are aware, which means that they can talk knowledgeably about it. But in years past, it was so new that the people knocking on your doors didn't really understand all of the moving pieces. And if they did understand it, they weren't able to explain it to you in a way that you get it. Because for me, it took several months for it all to sink in and find the right spaces in my brain to make sense. So, switching to solar, it will work if you work it. And my job is to make it make sense to you. So, real quickly, I am going to see if I can hold this up. Tell me if they can see this. Is I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see the zeros there. That is my balance due for that particular month. Zero. I love it when the bills come in like that. I'm going to switch. Here's another one. Oops, can't see it well, but still zero. But the objective is to help you to understand that I am honestly interested in sharing this information and sharing my experience with solar and to help those of you who are considering solar and you're interested to help you really understand how it all works together and how it can work for you. If your goal is to reduce or eliminate, reduce and or eliminate your electric bill, then I can help you understand the information to be able to make the best decision. Um, there are lots and lots and lots of solar energy companies out there, but I am a woman owned minority solar energy dealer. It's my company. I partner with an installer and I partner with a roofer, general contractor. So anything that you need done, we can get it done. It's a one-stop shop for you. And the financing, usually you only have to have a 650 credit score to qualify for the financing. That's important to know. And if you are not at a 650 credit score, then we can work with you to figure out how to make the adjustments to make that happen. Because believe me, there are options. You're not in a situation where you have to buy them outright, take a loan and buy them outright. You can lease solar panels. When you lease solar panels, that means that you are leasing them from the company that is selling them to you from the installer, and everything else is the same except you won't own it. You can also have what they call a power purchase agreement. Now, the difference in a lease and a power purchase agreement with the company that I partner with a lease, you can add a battery if you want to do that, and we'll talk about that later. But with a power purchase agreement, you cannot add a battery to the lease. But with a power purchase EZ plan option, you can pay the system off and own it after year 6 or 7. It could be year 5, but 6 or 7, you have the option to actually pay it off and you own it the same as you would have had you gotten just a traditional loan. So there are options, there are ways to make it work. Switching to solar will work if you work it. And understanding all of these different components is what makes the difference for you. Anyone who is interested in chatting more at any time, you can call me at 214-497-7440. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. If you go to YouTube and I believe type my name in, you should see this live session come up. And you should see this live session come up. And I forgot what I was going to say. Excuse me. I'm distracted by these comments. Great information. I could see it. When you lease, are you responsible for the upkeep and any damage? It's the same as owning. When you lease, you are not responsible. The company that you are leasing from, they do the maintenance and they take care of any problems that you might have. So let's just say an inverter goes out or your system is not producing properly or whatever, you will have a way to maintain connections with that company to let them know that you're having issues and they will troubleshoot for you and take care of it. As you are indicating, that is a little bit different when you actually own them. However, the only real difference is because, when you own, you have a warranty. If you are within the warranty limits, the time frames, then if something goes wrong with your system that is under warranty, then they will take care of that. But if something goes wrong or you have a problem, then it may fall on you to fix it. Here's an example. I have solar on my home. On the front of my home, I have a bank of panels, and one of them has a crack in it. I have no idea how it happened. It looks like maybe a golf ball or something hit it, but I don't live on the golf course. But it looks like that. Something hit it. It could have been hail. I don't know. It could have been around the holiday times when people shoot their guns. When you shoot up in the air, those bullets come down and they fall somewhere. I have no idea how the crack got there. So I actually called the company that installed them and let them know that I had this problem because I want to change the panel out. They looked at my production, and that particular panel is still working perfectly in sync with all of the other panels that are part of that system. So it's not a situation that falls under warranty. Now, if I am just one of those people who cannot stand that crack in my panel, it upsets me to the point that I'm just like, I can't have it. I can call my insurance company, let them know. Again, they're going to do an investigation to try and discover how it got there. If it's not something that was caused by Mother Nature, there was no tornado, there was not a hailstorm that created that particular incident without creating hail damage on several of them, then it's probably not going to be an insurance claim. That is considered a cosmetic situation. It's cosmetic damage. I don't like it because it doesn't look pretty. It takes away from the look of my system and my home, and I don't like the flaw that I see. So it's on me to replace that panel. I can have someone come out, remove or detach one panel and put a new one up there, but it's probably going to cost me for one panel to detach and reattach, plus the cost of the panel, that could be about $5,000. So I think I can endure that cosmetic damage because, you have to call a specialty person. Um, the company that I deal with, I would call them. They would come and detach and reattach. Not anyone can do that. Anytime someone gets on your roof, to install a solar panel system for the first time, or to move it, or to do anything. It has to be someone who is under the auspices of uh, an electrician, a master electrician. So, we talked about a couple of weeks ago that the solar industry is not regulated. Well, in general, it feels like it's not regulated, but the trades that are associated with installation, upkeep, any of that, those people have to be certified. So, and the what do you call them, electrical engineers, electricians, that's what I wanted, electricians, their trade is regulated. So the solar industry itself may not be regulated, but the trades connected to installation and all the things that have to happen, those particular trades are regulated. So, and I had to learn that kind of the hard way, in a sense, because I was feeling like none of the industry was regulated. But those are the moving parts that I'm talking about, that you got to understand and know. But now, if someone comes to do an installation, most people will not ask to see their credentials. Most people trust people like me, the person who sat at the table and sold you your system. You trust me that everything that we have talked about is true and that will be abided by. Okay, that's what you should do. Trust me. But I have to do my job. And my job is to make sure that whoever does the work on your home, installing that system, making sure that they are who they say they are. Now, I partner with a finance company and an installer that I do trust, but it doesn't mean that when we show up to on the day that we say we're going to show up to do this installation, you can feel free to ask questions to every person that is working on that job. Who is the electrician? Is he on the spot? Where is his license? May I see your license? Did you pull a permit from the city to be on my roof doing this? May I see the permit? Because what I'm going to tell you, when we sit together and make the sale, I'm going to tell you things like zero out of pocket costs. It's not going to cost you a dime out of your pocket to make this happen. Although you will have gone through credit check and we know that your score is good and now it's time to sign on the dotted line. When you do that, no money will be asked of you. So there's no out of pocket cost. Okay. And I will also tell you that you don't have anything to worry about, because we are going to do everything for you from this point forward. Once you're approved, we take over and do everything else. And everything else includes pulling the permits from the city, contacting Encore or whoever your co-op is, letting them know that you're installing solar. What is it that they require to have happen in order for us to move forward? We will contact your HOA. Now, a lot of times, some people have issues with HOAs. Um, Maybe saying, yeah, you can have solar panels, but don't put them on the front of your house. We want every house in the community to look the same. So that means that no one can have panels on the front of their house. But if you know your rights, and if I have done a good job, then I'm going to share with you that the HOA cannot stop you from putting panels anywhere on your home if that portion of your home will provide the most productivity. Okay. If they don't want them on the front, but the front is south facing, then we're going to have to put them on the front. So there are laws in place and regulations that are in your favor that we can, still make that happen no matter what they say. Even if you, as the homeowner, you don't like the way panels look, but you will enjoy the lower electric bills. Okay, that's good, but you don't like the way they look on your house, and you even don't want them on the front of your house. But if the front of your house is facing in the south direction, then what I'm going to say to you is we don't have a choice here. We have to put your panels on the front of your home because south facing, what did we say? That is the best direction for the panels. So in this case, if you don't want to budge, then solar is not for you. There are a lot of reasons why solar may not be for you. It may have nothing to do with the lowering or elimination of the electric bill. You may have different ideas about your property, and even though your roof is perfect, you get excellent sun, south facing has enough roof space to cover most of what you might need, but you don't like the look. Okay, if you don't like the look, you never should have called me because you don't like the look of solar panels, period. So you certainly are not going to like the look of solar panels on your home. And that's okay. There are various reasons. If your home has lots of mature trees, they're tall trees, they've been there for 30, 40, 50 years, and your roof gets a lot of shade because of those trees, then your home is not a good candidate for solar because what will the shade do? It will block the sun. And we cannot have the sun blocked if we're going to produce enough energy for our usage and to sell back to cover our electric bill energy usage and other items. So there are lots of, not a whole lot, but about five or six good reasons why your home may not be right for solar. You see these houses that have roofs that are cut up like gingerbread houses, they've got lots of nooks and crannies. Those roofs may not, and most often do not, have enough space for the panels that you would need. And or you sometimes will have roofs where the pitch, the angle, they come up like a pyramid or whatever. And so the pitch of the roof is not optimal for solar panels because that pitch is in such a position that the sun won't hit the panel directly. So if the sun doesn't hit directly, then you're not going to get the full benefit of the sun hitting your panel. Remember, our objective is to generate and produce as much energy as we possibly can during the daylight hours while the sun is out. So if that pitch is off and I come back and say we can't do it. Now, can you override me and say I want solar anyway? Then yes, you can do that. Will I put them on for you? I think not because I'm okay with not making a sale when I know that it is not the best thing for you. Someone else will come behind me and they will do it for you. But I enjoy who I am. I enjoy sleeping at night. I enjoy knowing that when it's the end of my days, I can stand before the creator and say, I did good with that. I didn't, just take your money. Although I would love to make the sale, but will I encourage you away from solar if it is not in your best interest? Yes, I will. Then, after I do that, I'm going to work with you to figure out, okay, we can't do solar on your roof. What else can we do? You may have enough land, enough yard that we can do a ground mount. That's an option. We can put the solar panels on the ground and then they will be tilted properly when they're installed, and you can still have solar. If you have a backyard or an area that is big enough to sustain a ground mount, it's an option. So, although I would say no to one thing, I'm always aware of other possibilities that may work for you. So, don't be discouraged. Let's just look for the better options because I like my name and I have a good name. When people think of me, they smile. They're usually happy because in my lifetime, I've not had experiences with anybody that I know of who, you know, just doesn't like me. I'm not saying that there's not anybody out there who does or doesn't, but I don't know who they are because I pay close attention to the relationships that I build. And I think that the relationships are important because if you have to call me 5 years from now and say, Robin, something happened with my solar and, I don't know what to do, then I am still here for you. And that's what you want. You don't want to be connected with a company that could be out of business the day after your system is installed. And then, if that's the fact, if that contractor is no longer in business, then who's responsible for your roof damage if it should happen? I actually know a person who had solar installed on her home, and for months it was not hooked up, which means that she did not have permission to operate from Encore. uh, and she was paying the finance charges. She was paying that monthly bill, to the finance company, and she was still paying her electric bill. But guess what happened? There came a storm, a serious storm. Her fire alarms went off. Water was just raining in her home because where they had pierced the roof just happened at that particular time. It broke through. Fire department was out. They got everything situated, but now what's the deal? I'm not positive, even if her system was registered with her insurance company at that particular time. So I don't really know the end story, but I do know that it happened. And with that said, when you have solar installed on your home, it is your responsibility to contact your insurance company and let them know that you have solar attached to your dwelling. And so now that becomes an item, a part of your dwelling, your homeowner's insurance. You have to do that. There are some people who will just increase their insurance rebuild value by the cost of the panels. But now insurance companies are at a point where they have a formula that they use to calculate the addition of solar panels um, to your policy. And the reason that is necessary is these panels, they're attached to your roof. Your home is your dwelling. It includes the roof. If a tornado comes through, a hurricane comes through, high winds, anything that will cause damage or could cause damage to your system, then now you can let the insurance company know, and they will send an adjuster out to take a look at everything. And if your panels have been damaged to the point where maybe one or two blew off for some reason, because most of these panels are designed to withstand like 140 miles an hour wind and hail, maybe the size of a golf ball. But when you start getting hail the size of grapefruits and things like that, you're going to have some damage, and that's going to need to be dealt with. So now you've contacted your insurance company. They send an adjuster out. The adjuster agrees that you need to file a claim. You file the claim, and now, before you can do any repairs to your roof, if your roof also needs damage, you've got to detach the panels. So if it ever happens to you, even if you have a system now, you're not looking to buy one, you already have one. If it happens, then the adjuster from the insurance company should have added a line item to detach your panels and reattach, because it costs to do that. The person who is coming out to do that, remember, that person has to be a master electrician, or whoever is doing the work to detach and reattach. They have to be under the license of a master electrician. So if someone is coming out to repair your roof and they say we need to take these panels off, and they have someone who can do it, you need to verify whether or not the person that they're sending to do it has experience, and whether or not that person is a master electrician, or that person is working under the license of a master electrician. And you also want to ask them, how many of these have you done? How many times have you detached and reattached? Because this is yours, and it is a money producing piece of equipment. Don't think you just have them up there for any reason and anybody can touch them, because you're producing with panels on your home. You are producing energy the same as any other energy producing outfit. And I just say that, I mean, like, all of your major companies that sell energy to the electric companies that send you bills, people that send you bills that you get your bill from every month, they are not producing energy. Usually they are buying energy at a wholesale price from a bigger company. Encore is a producer of energy. So you've got 1,001 small, not so small, electric companies that we pay our bill to every month. All they do basically is keep checks and balances. How much is going in, how much is going out, how much is the bill. Let me send it to you. When they send it to us, we just pay it. But you're different. Now that you have solar attached to your home, you are different. You really are competitive in a sense with other energy producing places, because that is an energy producing system on your home. It is worth money. There's lots of conversations right now about, okay, so what if I want to sell my home and I have solar panels on them? And I have been told that solar will increase the value of my home. How does that really work? Well, there are a couple of moving parts to that, but think of it like this. If you own your system, even if you haven't finished paying the loan off, but you're considered to be someone who owns it, um, an appraiser will come out and appraise the home with the solar on it, and you'll get an appraised value. Okay. Now, adding solar does not increase your property taxes, but does it increase the value of your home? If you own the system, the answer is yes. However, lots of real estate people are just now becoming aware of how solar works and how it works with the sale of a home and the buying or the purchasing of a home, whether you're the seller or the buyer. They're starting to become aware and get involved in that. But one of the ways that it will add value to your home is by the savings that you've had for years in not having to pay a bill. That has saved you money. So now you're selling your home. I don't know for sure, but I would say that on an average 2 to 4%, it could increase the value of your home by 2 to 4% just based on the fact that when that new homeowner comes into that home, they won't have an electric bill. And if they do have one, it is going to be minimal. And that is value. So, a lot of times when they talk about does it add value to your home, so if your home is valued at $283,000, that's the rebuild value. And you want to sell it for 283 with the solar, but the solar hasn't been considered. Well, you might want to add 2 to 4%, and your realtor or someone else can help you understand that. This is just for example purposes, but I'm just trying to get us to open our minds and understand that it does add value. And value sometimes comes in different ways. But if that person comes into your home, they buy it, and they don't have to have an electric bill, you think that's not value? Now, keep in mind, when they buy that home, they still have to call whatever electric company that they want to be connected with, and they have to have the service turned on in their name. When they turn the service on in their name, they have to say to that provider that I have solar. So now they're going to quote them kilowatt per hour prices that are connected to solar energy, not traditional energy. And when that happens, because the solar has been producing and it still has several good years of production left, they're going to be in a good position every month.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question in house.
Okay. So if you purchase a home with the solar already on it, who you contact if something happens? If you're not connected with who put it on and things like that. How do you do that?
Very good question. So the question is, if I purchase a home that has solar on it and I don't have any of the information as to who installed it, where are my warranties and things like that, you will have that because if the loan is not paid off, there are options for it to be transferred to you. Once it transfers to you, everything transfers to you. The warranties transfer to you. Any information pertinent to that then comes to you in your name. If the law, even if the loan is paid off, that seller still has all of the information connected, and you still will get with that manufacturer and transfer the information to you. So there are ways to still uh, make it valuable for you to have the information that you need. Also, I am teaching my customers to keep up with your information. When you sign the paperwork, you get your loan documents, put it in a place where you can keep up with it. Your bills. I keep up with my bills. I have every bill from the time I switched to solar on June 18th, 2020, up to today. And so anybody who buys my home will be able to see what my bills have been. And even if I didn't have them, I could request the information from the provider. But if I have switched providers, I won't be able to get the information prior, the history prior. But I keep it for that reason so that it can be like an added service. So when people are going through my home to decide if they want to buy it, they can actually see what I have been paying in bills and how it all works.
Yeah.
I have a question. When will you be discussing the benefits of investing in a battery? Y'all pushing me. Okay, let's talk a little bit about a battery now. How much time do I have left? It's over. Wow, this goes quick. So, okay, when will you be discussing the benefits of investing in a battery, pros and cons? I have solar, but I do not have a battery. Is it very expensive to add a battery? Batteries right now are somewhat expensive. They can range from $12,000 up to 20 or 30. It just depends on how big your system is and how much battery storage you need. If you already have a system, yes, you can add a battery to it. We just have to find the company that is compatible with your system. If you have a system that has individual inverters and individual inverters, then we just have to make sure that the equipment syncs up. Once you have a battery, the beauty of a battery is at night, during the day, you're pulling energy from the sun, okay? And the energy that you don't use, all that overproduction goes back to the grid. But when you have a battery, that overproduction now goes into the battery. So at night, instead of pulling from the grid, you're pulling your energy from the battery. So you're using everything that you have produced. But keep in mind, you will still get a bill because they add other things. We're simply talking about energy use. Batteries are going to eventually come down. The cost of a battery is eventually going to come down, but I will put this on my list to talk about next week because my time is practically up here. But before I go, I just want you all to understand that solar energy is not new. I was watching the news the other day and there was a clip. They were in space doing repair on a space station, and what they were actually repairing were solar panels. So, all of this is space technology. Everything that is to our convenience now is somewhat connected to space. So, solar is not new. It's been around a long time. Your panels will more than likely produce even after 25 years enough to keep you going. But these are things that we will continue to talk about. I want to thank you all for listening. Again, my name is Robin Fahmy. My company is Better Me, Better You, Solar Energy Consulting, Sales, and Project Management. Because once you buy the system, I need to manage the project to conclusion. Um, our objective is to demystify the idea of solar. You can reach me at 214-497-7440. You can look for the playback on Facebook and YouTube. So I am going to bid you a good night and I'm going to thank you very much for having me here and for listening. Please share this information because I don't want you all to get trapped by door knockers. Bye.